Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Street. I'm very excited to be a part of this summit, the collaboration of Northwestern Health Sciences University and the Minnesota Wellness Connection. It's my honor to give back to this profession that's given me so much. And so, a little bit about me: I've been in practice for almost 20 years. I'm a proud father of 4 amazing kids and a proud husband of close to 20 years as well, to a beautiful wife, my soulmate. Really, what we're going to talk about today is one of the most amazing practice tools that I use to grow my practice, that we help other people grow their businesses with major success. And it's in this world of technology and social media, it's something that sometimes we just forget. Engaging in your local community, going out and meeting the people, and that's the title of this talk: Take It to the People. How do we impact? How do we bring impact? How do we bring value to the world to raise the level of health and wellness and knowledge in our community? And how to utilize that impact and that giving and that service mentality to have value returned to us in the growth of our practice. We talk a lot about becoming that wellness expert, health celebrity. And I think celebrity can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. You know, you could look at influencers on social media, TikTok phenomenons, Paris Hilton. You could look at famous newscasters and actors and actresses. But when I'm talking about celebrity, I want to really look at my definition. So my definition of celebrity as a noun is the state of being well known and beloved authority, creator of value, and a trusted servant. That's what I talk about when I mean celebrity. And that's what I would encourage all of you to try to become in your community and in your circle of influences. There's so many reasons why you want to do it. First of all, just becoming a civic-minded person and giving is a wonderful way to just become a wonderful person and have a wonderful, happy, gratitude-filled life. So you get so much out of giving and becoming involved, far beyond practice. Secondly, any of us that are chiropractors need to understand our job is to make an impact in this world with the people that we meet, the people we're blessed to lay our hands on. And so when I talk about impact, that's what I'm talking about. We want to impact our community. We want to impact each individual patient and person that we come in contact with in a positive way. And we want to create a ripple effect throughout our community, throughout our region, throughout our state, and eventually we're going to dent the universe as a profession if we do that. So remember, the state of being well known as a beloved authority, creator of value, and trusted servant. There's so many advantages as a chiropractor and a practice owner to doing that. The big ones are obvious. If you're involved in your community, you take action in your community, you market locally, you're going to increase your brand awareness. And brand awareness just means people are going to know who you are. You want to get to the point where people are like, man, that dude's everywhere and he's always happy, he's always doing something good. Your name should be synonymous with your community. You should be considered a fixture, a pillar of your community, a celebrity. That's what we want you to do. So you increase your brand awareness. You develop trust. There's so many ways to develop trust outside of your practice. As a matter of fact, through the years of my practice, I've received many referrals from people that hadn't even been a patient yet. I just met them at a Kiwanis breakfast or coaching youth football or whatever. And they know who you are. They know you're a good person because they've been around you and by the way you carry yourself, and they'll refer. So you gain a lot of trust by going out and just giving without any real true intent of receiving in the community. That's huge. Once you gain the trust and the social trust of a community, that's one of the best things you can do to grow your practice, just by giving authentically and sincerely. And then finally, creating positive culture. This gets missed a lot. So if you're involved in your community as a practice and as a doctor, it's going to create excitement for not only yourself, but your staff, your associate physicians, your front desk staff, your CAs. Everybody's going to feel like they're part of the community bigger because they're associated with you and your practice is associated in the community in the big way. And that's very rewarding for anybody to be a part of it. It's a great way to really have dedicated ownership type value from your staff. And it's a great way to make it be a fun place to work for your staff. And just the general level and momentum in your practice will raise when everybody's kind of having fun and firing on all same cylinders and vibrating at the same level. So community involvement is the biggest thing. When we're out in the community, we want to give. Think of it as give. It's not about you. It's not about I'm out to get people in my practice. It's about what can I give? What impact can I have on this individual, this group of people, this time with these people in my community? So you want to give value. You want to make connections and true friendships. And we call that human capital. It's worth so much more than money when we talk about capital. Financial capital comes in many times as a direct result of the human capital and the relationship capital that you build by being a good person, by sincerely giving, and by becoming involved in your community. So community involvement, you can do it in so many ways. There's service clubs, Kiwanis, Rotary, KCs, all that stuff. You know, that you name it. You look in whatever community is, there's some version of community associations, community clubs, service clubs that you can be a part of. Be a part of your local booster club in your town. Not just giving money, but volunteering and showing up and helping put away chairs, helping run tournaments, helping coach youth athletes. That's another great way to just get involved in the community. Sponsorships. You can sponsor things like the booster club. You can sponsor the course trip to Europe. You can help purchase new uniforms for the wrestling team. You can sponsor a student as they go on and do some fun event or have some state fair competition or something along those lines. Church. Obviously I'm not here to preach and I have faith, but I don't judge whatever you are. But church is a wonderful community of people that will give back to you many times over and you give to them. It's a great way to become involved in your community. Chamber of Commerce, of course, as a business owner, you want to network and help other business owners in your community. The vibrant health of any community's business is going to help your practice. Toastmasters, Vistage, this is one a lot of people don't know. Vistage is a business mastermind group for CEOs of companies. And as a doctor and owner of your practice, you are the CEO of your company, and you can go and join a Vistage group and learn and be mentored by, and also make amazing connections with other CEOs in your area and your community. It's such a wonderful group. And then things like MOPS, mothers of preschoolers. Now, if you're a man and you're not a mother of a preschooler, you can't become a member, but you can support, you can recommend, you can post their meeting times in your practice, you can sponsor their events, you can speak at their events, things like that. So that's just some examples. There's so many different ways. Pick the things that most authentically fit you. Try to get out of your comfort zone in a few of the others and try to hit different groups of people. Don't just go all of the same, go here, go there, and just make those connections, that relationship capital and that human capital. Another really good way is to find and seek out in an authentic way and also a strategic way, mentor relationships and influencer relationships. So if you're new to your community, if you're a doctor in your community, go out and find successful business people or successful influencers in the church or successful influencers that are high-level coaches that are regularly having success in their programs, and ask them to help teach you. I mean, there's nothing more flattering to somebody than you going up and saying, hey, I love who you are and what you do, and I'd really like to learn from you. And in return, you can give to them. You can give them health advice. You can give them care. And you can earn that trust through an authentic relationship. And if you do that with those influencers, you'll gain more than you give, both in knowledge and in just general relationship. But also, those are people, if they start recommending you or start showing up as patients in your practice, the people that respect them will also flow in. So that's a really thing. Seek out people that you want to learn from and people you respect, and talk to them, learn from them, give to them. Another thing is win-win business relationships. So this is something where, partnering or creating relationships with other businesses in your community. Obviously, things like gyms, health food stores, yoga studios, things like that. But then a few more unobvious things, daycares. You can help go in and talk to parents of daycare about what chiropractic has to offer, or natural health tips, or nutrition for children, or general movement recommendations, whatever it is, whatever the daycare would like, and you can send polls out to the parents. Just become involved, help. We all know if you have children that parents will really gravitate to people who help their kids. As a dad, I know that I would be a sucker for anybody who did right by my children, and I would be forever grateful for it. Some other ones are dentists. I know we did some really big things with TMJ and really educating dentists on how we can work together, not in competition with each other, to build relationships to the point where there's cross referrals. And again, it's just a really win-win business strategy. Believe it or not, mechanics. Now, if you really think about it, I mean, chiropractic is way more than just structurally fixing the body. We're functionally affecting the body in a big way. But there's a lot of similarities to what we do to people and what mechanics do to cars. And if you get in and have the opportunity to treat mechanics, because listen, they're going to need it, but they also will get it if you talk to them and use the analogies of maintenance on a car and maintenance of your body and structural and function. So if a structure's off in a car, the function is off. The human body works very similar. So mechanics are some people who you can really actually get together with, and they'll really get where you're coming from. And it's a strange but really effective referral source. Athletic trainers, massage therapists, PT. And just remember, when you go into these places, remember you're a chiropractor. So talk about chiropractic, talk about adjusting the spine as your priority, and then you can talk about the other things you do outside of that. And then many others. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can find a win-win relationship with almost any business out there. Just make sure that it's a business of integrity and it's people that you want to be associated with in your life. And so the relationship side is obviously the biggest part of just getting out, letting people see your face, letting people get to meet you, know what kind of person you are, learn how to like you and trust you before they may even step into your clinic. And then when they do have a need, or when they do decide to take that step towards chiropractic, they're going to think of you. And that's huge. And if they don't, it's okay, because you're gaining so much from what you're giving in the community. And then finally, we get down to how do you market beyond that? So the relationships are the biggest things, but some specific community-based marketing things you can do to get your names out there. Volunteering as a doctor for a sports team, a traveling debate club, the choir, local police and firefighters, local, right now in the time of COVID, local frontline workers, nurses, doctors. Believe it or not, you'll get a lot of them who will need adjustments and appreciate adjustments. And by giving that, setting up a table and just giving and not trying to make a sales pitch, just giving, when it does come time for them to see a chiropractor, to refer somebody to a chiropractor, they're going to think of you. Health talks are always a big one, setting those up. You can do those in person or virtually really easily. And you can go to the businesses you partner with, the clubs that you're in, the schools that you've made relationships with. These are the times when you start cashing in on that relationship capital, and just ask them, hey, what can I come and talk about for your club? What would you find interesting? Or, hey, I really have some great health talks about XYZ. You know, would you guys mind if I came in and spoke to your club about it? If you're a member of that club and you've been involved, the answer is always going to be yes. It's just such an easy way to do it. Screenings. They're kind of old school and a lot of people don't do them, but they're one of the most effective ways to be out in the community. Set up a screening booth and educate people about what's up with their body and how you can help find a solution to their problems. Co-branded events. So this is something that I think is really big. Once you've become involved in the community, you can't just show up as an outsider and get into all these things. You need to become involved, and then these opportunities arise. But co-brand events. Say there's a marathon in your town, or there's a big event where there's going to be other speakers or other vendors. You can show up and be a keynote speaker, be an adjunct speaker, have a booth to do a screening, co-brand with other events that are already going, and bringing in masses in your area for your local community so that you can get out in front of large groups of people at one time. And then in these times of COVID, where we can't really get out and meet people and shake hands and kiss babies and be in close contact, especially in some parts of the country, we really want to start getting creative. And if we're honest with each other, you know, looking towards the future, doing effective things virtually and coming up with creative ways to educate and to sell yourself without having to be in the vicinity of a human is pretty big. And so at Live Life, For us personally at Live Life Coaching Consulting through the Minnesota Wellness Connection and many of our other partners, we're really looking at a couple big things. One is the local summit. So basically it's going to be modeled very similar to this, where you become the local leader as a business endeavor in your community, to where you go out and get a congregation of local businesses to come together and provide value to the community through education, through empowerment, through giveaways, and allow yourself to market with your other businesses. You go down the street to the gym, you go to the mechanic, we already talked about that. You could go to the yoga studio, you go to the health food store, you could go to the PT practice, the local sports booster club, whatever. You bring people together and host a local summit similar to this, bringing value in the form of talks, education, entertainment, giveaways, to where you help everybody win in the community. You're the leader of it. You get everybody seeing you. You get access to everybody's database. But way more importantly than that, you're just the person who's coalescing the community in tough times to provide value and cement yourself as the ultimate community celebrity, giver, leader. Remember, we want to be in a state of being well known as a beloved authority, creator of value, and trusted servant. In a local summit like this is such a great way to do it. Another big thing that we've seen some of our clients and some of the people we've coached really have success with, and I think it's very valuable right now, I call it the PPP, the Personal Patient Podcast. And really what it's about is a podcast that you're going to do, and you kind of model it after. We all listen to podcasts now. Like 51% of all people in 2019 on Earth listen to a podcast. So it's a big deal. But we're not trying to become necessarily a worldwide influencer. Some of you may have that goal, but you got to start in your community before you can become Brendan Bouchard. That's not the goal of this. So the goal is to just provide education and value for your patients. We all know in our practice, just think if we had an hour a day with each one of our patients to educate them on chiropractic and the value of the other services we provide in our practice. If you have that much time with each patient, that's a problem in your practice, right? I know I never did. When you see, 100 people plus a day, you don't have time to spend an hour with each patient to educate them. So a podcast is a really great way to do that. Get creative and educate patients about chiropractic, but do it in a podcast version. Think of it as patient education and community education, but in the form of a podcast. And then you can also bring in other community leaders, influencers, other businesses, interview them on your podcast, make the connections. It's just another great way in this time of COVID that through a phone call, through a Zoom call, through a virtual video, you can do it. And to really get the bang for your buck at Live Life, what we do is we really get people to set up 3 avenues: video, podcast, blog. And that sounds really overwhelming. But really the beauty of it is you get to set up a video like this, just like we're doing, interview your friend, interview your neighbor, talk about something you're passionate about, talk about chiropractic, and the video gets listed on your YouTube channel, your Vimeo, your website, whatever. The audio of that video becomes your podcast, and the transcription of the audio becomes your blog post. So with one action, we teach you how to have a YouTube video presence out into your community. We teach you how to have a podcast, and we teach you how to have a blog all in one. It's a wonderful way in this time of distant connection to really connect with each other and provide massive value, have fun doing it, interview amazing people, talk about things you're passionate about, and have your patients learn so that when they show up every day, you don't have to spend that hour educating them on, the principles of chiropractic and why chiropractic is so awesome. So podcast, huge, goes right with the summit, right with the video idea. Another thing that we forget about sometimes is just good old-fashioned local newspapers and local magazines. Of course they're on their way down, but they're not dead yet, right? So right now, journalists, especially in smaller markets, are really looking for interesting stories. If you can reach out and provide a relationship and provide value in the form of a health column, or, hey, local doctor sponsors track team, local doctor works with track team, local doctor travels with local college athletes, any of those things. Newspapers like that stuff. And if you're sincere and legit and you're doing things for the right reason, a news article is worth 100,000 views on a YouTube channel in some markets, right? And with some people. That's something really important. Don't forget about those. Utilize those as part of your strategy. If you get published in a local newspaper, you can use that in your social media campaigns for a credibility boost. Local TV is another one, depending on the market you're in. A lot of times they're looking for fun, good, lighthearted things. So local chiropractor at the food bank, that stuff, or hard hitting. You can show up. Hey, I'm a chiropractor. I'm also an expert. This goes back to being a beloved authority in the community on health, and say, hey, I would love to do a health segment. I'd love to do a one-time, interview with the anchor on the morning show or whatever. You'd be surprised if you get your ducks in a row, you think it through, and you think about what you have to offer, how valuable that can be and how attractive that can be to local media. So that's something good. Also, contests. You can hold contests with whatever you want. It can be chiropractic based. It could be football pick'ems. It could be give away a new car in conjunction with a local dealer. Get creative, make relationships, and then leverage that in your local media. Leverage it on that. So that's important. Just getting creative, having fun, being a fun member of your community. And then we get to social media. Obviously, social media is huge in today's world. And this talk isn't about social media marketing. That's something we all need to be expert in and grow in and learn. So we're not going to talk about how to maximize that. But when it comes to local marketing and being a local celebrity, it's as simple as when you're out in the community, post it. When you're at your local service group, be like, here I am with my friends at whatever, XYZ, Kiwanis Club Breakfast. Great meal. Thank you to XYZ restaurant who catered it. That's simple. Or here I am adjusting athletes at the track meet. Here I am shaking the hand of the kid I sponsor to go to the state fair. Here I am, this, that, and the other thing. Here I am hosting a local summit. If you get in and you're regularly letting the media know what you're doing and you're posting those things on social media as well, that's a great way to leverage the things you're doing and maximize the visibility of what you're doing. And then finally, at the end of the day, all of this is moot if you can't deliver the goods. So one thing that's a constant, there's very few constant things in life, but one thing that's a flat fact in life is you want to always continue improving yourself, your personal development, your mindset, and your skills. So if you're a chiropractor, you want to be a chiropractor. You need to be good at delivering a chiropractic adjustment. If you decide to go down a niche avenue, athletes, or down a niche avenue, children, or nutrition, or acupuncture, or laser treatment, or stem cells, or whatever you do, we do all of those things at Live Life, and we find the experts. You want to become very skilled and very knowledgeable so that when you're actually delivering that treatment to somebody, you're very confident in the results they're going to get and the service and the actual care you're going to give. And once you get good at that and you're confident in yourself at providing the goods, it makes all these other things that much better. Showing up as a confident person because you know that you're doing things for the right reason with the right intent. And at the end of the day, if somebody trusts you to be their trusted healthcare provider, you're going to do everything you can to deliver an amazing service to that person. That helps all of this function much better. So again, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. I know some of you will be students just starting. When you're a student, it's the best time to learn. Open your mind, find mentors, seek out people. That's why at Live Life, we have a very simple student program to help you along those lines. If you're an existing doctor who wants to do better or who is maybe potentially wanting to grow and excel their practice, same thing. Reach out, find a coach, find somebody who can help you down this path, find somebody who's led the way before you and already knows this so you can learn from all the mistakes that we've made over the years. And if you're a high-level achiever who's already doing all these things, already excelling, maybe doing things that are different or unique, we have an absolute wonderful mastermind program where high-level, badass men and women can get together and bounce ideas off each other, lift each other up. Because here's the thing in the world, abundance breeds abundance. Collaboration breeds success. If you're really good at what you do, you don't have to worry about competition, especially in a business that we're in chiropractic, where we hit such a small percentage of the population. If we start working together to help each other, that's where we start getting to 10%, then 20%, and 50%, hit that tipping point where we see the whole world and impact the world, impact your community, and dent the universe. So it's been an absolute pleasure. If you want to learn more about the specific protocols we have on becoming a wellness celebrity in your community, maximizing your local marketing and everything else under the sun as it pertains to becoming an expert, successful person with a wonderful life and a great practice, please go to the link down below where it says schedule a free strategy session and learn more. If not, hopefully this provided great value. We should all give a big giant thumbs up to Northwestern for what they're doing and leading the pack as far as chiropractic schools go, as far as being very open and welcoming to really helping students not only get through their education and have a world-class education, but also transferring that into a happy, wonderful, meaningful life in a very successful practice. So once again, Dr. Aaron Street here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the other speakers today. I want to give one last shout out. If you watch this video, that means you're in the top 5% of people who want to grow, want to improve, and you should be very proud of yourself. I hope you take action on some of the things we talked about today, and I wish you the best. Have a great day. Thank you so much.